We've got some interesting races shaping up in the North Okanagan. We've got three candidates running for mayor in Vernon. Incumbent Victor Cumming.
Top of the priority list is to continue with this downtown safety focus, housing, attainable housing, continue with supportive housing, parks, trails. We've got Kin Racetrack, we've got finishing up of Civic Memorial Park, we've got trails, the Grey Canal, we've got fire management in the Aberdeen Plateau, really a critical item as well.
Scott Anderson, who's vacated his council seat to take a run for mayor.
Well, affordable housing as defined by the province is only housing that is subsidized or supportive. So it only affects a very small number of people. What is required, what is driving this housing crisis is a lack of housing across the entire socioeconomic spectrum. And that is directly, even at the federal level they notice, and certainly at the provincial level they notice that the bottleneck is the city permitting processing.
And lastly, Eric Olson, who's taking a second shot at the mayor's seat in Vernon.
We need to be able to create housing stock. We need to be able to create places for people to call home and want to stay in Vernon long term. We are struggling on the housing front, and we do need to look at densification. I think sometimes we get caught in how much we're building on a front of sprawl, but forget that densification really does help improve vacancy rates, improve availability, and make housing attainable.
We've got 13 candidates seeking a seat on council. At least one new council member will be elected. And elsewhere in the North Okanagan, we've got three mayors all acclaimed in Coldstream, Armstrong, and Spalmsheen. In Coldstream, Ruth Hoyt, moving up from council. In Armstrong, Joe Kramer. He's taking over from Chris Pieper, who's retiring after 31 years in civic politics. And in Spalmsheen, Christine Fraser, acclaimed, returned to her position as mayor in that community. Also in Coldstream, Jim Garlick, former mayor, gave up his seat as mayor to run as a councillor instead. Also an interesting race for school board, with three candidates running under the Parents' Voice slate, which has stirred some controversy in the community. The District Parents Advisory Council coming out publicly disavowing any connection with the group and stating its opposition. The Parents' Voice group has challenged sexual orientation and gender identity education in the schools, and that's ruffled some feathers. So it'll be interesting to see if any of them make the cut tonight. For Castanet News, I'm John Manchester in Vernon.